Nick's mom had a horse named Gracie. So I was like, is it weird if I name my dog the same thing as one of your horses? But we all agreed it was fine. So her name was Gracie, the golden retriever. Welcome to Life Unleashed,
the podcast all about creating the best life for you and your furry best friend.
If you're a dog mom on the go, juggling life, work, and the endless joys of being a dog parent, then you're in the right place. I'm Dani.
And I'm Nick.
And together with the incredible dog mom community from Tails Up Pup, we're here to share advice, stories, and the obsession we have over the love for our dogs.
Get ready to laugh, learn, and lean on each other because life with your dog just got even more awesome.
If you only have one dog, get your wallets ready because I'm about to convince you to get another.
2 is always better than 1.
2 is better than 1. Recently, someone DM'd me asking about having 2 dogs because she is looking at getting another dog. And I love this question because I have 2 dogs and it's the best thing ever. So today we're going to be chatting all things 2 dogs. So I will say our situation was a little bit different because we got our dogs like together basically, where if you have one who's older and getting another one, your situation would be a little bit different. But
if you don't have any dogs or something like you're in that situation or you want to
add, what are you doing here?
Or you want to add 2 more to your house, we loved having 2 puppies.
Yes.
Everyone was like, you're crazy having 2 puppies. And honestly, we potty trained them together. They were like more or less in all of the same life stages together. And now like them being within, 3 or 4 weeks in age, it's just been everything's been perfect with that.
They are like 12 weeks apart, but we got them 3 weeks apart.
That's right.
Because Holly
Bad
was a little...
dad over here not knowing.
Holly was a little bit older. She was on sale. No one wanted her. Poor Holly.
Danielle.
I'm stating facts.
She's close by. She can hear you.
I know. I'm sorry, Holly, but we rescued you.
We wanted you, Holly.
Yeah. So I'll give a little backstory if you don't know. Nick wanted a border collie. I wanted a golden retriever. So we compromised and we got both. So I actually found Gracie first. And so obviously the one I wanted put the effort into finding the golden. And I told Nick, I'm like, there's these puppies. Can we get one? And he was like, no, like we just got married. We're not ready for the dogs yet. And so I had already asked the lady, I'm like, are there any left? Blah, blah. And so I had to tell her, actually, we're not ready yet. Then one day, Nick is scouring the internet for a border collie. And so I
thought it was you looking, actually.
But you told me to stop looking. So how did we get to Holly?
Because you wouldn't stop.
Oh, maybe I was pesty.
Yeah, you were like, I want a dog.
Maybe. That sounds accurate. So then I sent him a picture of Holly, I guess. And you said what? Yes?
I was like, so cute. Danielle kind of sprung it all on me. She was like, I think we should get a dog.
We're going to get married. We're going to get dogs. We'll have babies in 5 years. Blah, blah, blah. Like,
I know, but kind of like we get married. You're like, all right, we're like, here's the dog we're going to get. And I'm like, whoa, let's just decide. Like, I didn't know we were ready like right now to get a dog. And so I think it had to I had to think about it for a week or 2. And then it was like, you know what? She's right. I'm ready to get a dog. Let's get one.
Yeah, so it wasn't that long after, but I had told the golden retriever lady, never mind, not right now. But then I guess I convinced Nick. So I went back to her and I said, hey, I actually think we might be interested. And she said, we have no puppies left now. And so I was devastated, but we proceeded with getting Holly. And Holly was, like 12 weeks old then probably?
Yeah, I think she was 12 weeks old.
She might have been a little older.
No, I think 12.
Around 12 weeks. So we got the puppy things and I was like, we're naming her Holly the Border Collie. So cute. And we went and picked her up and it was the best day ever. We were so excited and she was so cute.
She was so happy to come home with us.
She knew we were mom and dad and she was so fun in the car.
She was sassy from the beginning.
So I sat in the back seat with her and just hung out with her and we made it not far from picking her up on the way home that my phone started ringing. Remember?
Yes.
And it was the golden retriever lady and she said, someone just backed out. So I have one girl puppy left. Would you like her? And I'm like, I have this brand new puppy in my hands. who's now like peeing on me probably. And
She did pee in the car.
yeah, she peed in the car, and I'm like, oh
Yes.
my gosh, yes, we'll take her. And so that's how we got the 2 puppies back to back. But Gracie wasn't old enough yet, so we waited 3 weeks before we could pick her up. So
And we brought her home, right after 8 weeks, basically?
whatever the earliest is you could get them.
Yeah, pretty early.
She was tiny. And so Holly was an only child for 3 weeks. In that time, Nick and I both got violently ill. And so we had a brand new puppy that was not potty trained, and we both couldn't get out of bed. So that was crazy time for us.
During that time, didn't she pee in our bed?
She did pee in our bed, and it was our fault because we didn't take her out because we were dying.
But we had the flu, both of us.
Yeah. We never got sick for so long, and then we got a puppy and then we got sick. So that was really sad for us. But we had a great time with Holly as an only child, but we knew Gracie was coming. So then we went, I actually went to pick up Gracie with Nick's mom. And
That's right,
Nick
because I stayed home with
Holly.
Holly, yes.
And so when I went to pick Gracie up, all the puppies, we were the first one to pick up. All the puppies were in this room, and Gracie ran up to me. Like, she was already ours because, like, the purple collar was, like, our dog the whole time that this lady was raising them. So I knew which one was mine, but she knew I was her mom. Like, no one else ran up to me. Gracie ran up to me and knew I was her mom, so it was destined that we were to be together.
Because you were kind of worried about that. You're like, oh, what if she doesn't take to me? I mean, I know they're so young, but, like, you still want them to have a connection.
Me. I chose her and she chose me.
She did.
And her name was Kona at the time. And I had to call Nick in the car and say, we cannot name this dog Kona because she just doesn't look like a Kona. It doesn't feel right.
She wasn't a Kona. She was a Gracie.
But we didn't even know what we were changing it to at that point. We battled around with a bunch of names.
But you guys, by the time you got home, you said, we think she's a Gracie.
But Nick's mom had a horse named Gracie. So I was like, is it weird if I name my dog the same thing as one of your horses? But we all agreed it was fine. So her name was Gracie, the golden retriever. So yeah, that's how we got 2 of our dogs. But I would say by far, life with 2 is better than 1. So we only experienced the horrible 1 dog life for 3 weeks, but our dogs play together.
The horrible 1 dog life.
Our dogs play together so well. So when Holly was an only child, we had to play with her all the time. And we still do play with them all the time, but they can entertain each other way more than we would have to.
Not only can, they want to. They are like playmates and love to play together.
Yep, they'll play tug of war. They'll chase each other around the house. Like, they just have a grand old time together. So it's kind of like having a sibling in real life. You know, your mom's like, go play with your sibling. Like, the dogs do that too.
Yeah, they also fight like siblings sometimes too.
I would say, you know, overall, yeah, sometimes they fight, sometimes they play, but overall it's much better. And another common question that I get is about the expense. The most expensive part is the vet because you're having to fully pay for 2 more dogs. I feel like the food isn't like horrible overall.
No, I mean, I feel like we have to do all the heart guard and the tick and stuff, all that.
Yeah,
and
I
so
mean, everything is double, I guess.
That's double, but I mean, yeah, the food's
Worth
double.
it.
Yeah.
The vet, if your dog is healthy and only has to go like once a year for the checkup, it's really not that bad when you think about it.
No, I mean, I feel like it's not too bad.
And then, yeah, food.
But Danielle did try to sell me, oh, it's not going to be that much more. And it's like, I remember that first year with all the shots and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, that first year, it is more because you got to get your dogs. If you want to get them fixed, we did. Like, all that stuff did add up.
Yeah, it does add up, but it is worth it because then you have 2 furry best friends. I think the hardest thing is them wanting my attention, specifically like on the couch. Like, they'll fight over who gets to sit next to me and that type of stuff.
So our experience was the one with getting 2 dogs at basically the same age at the same time. But we have seen some good experience from like my mom who has other dogs that are older and she's gotten multiple different puppies at different times. And the thing that is so cool about that is almost always the older dog may not want to have anything to do with the puppy initially, but pretty quickly they warm up and like now that older dog is playing again.
It's so
and
cute.
being like, more of like a puppy. And that really, I think, keeps them younger and, probably enhances their lives. I think they like it.
Yeah, I agree.
I've we've never experienced a time where, and if you have like an aggressive dog or a reactive dog, maybe you'd have to be worried about this. I would, maybe try to understand this before you go get another puppy. You wouldn't want to do that. But like every situation, and we had a reactive border collie growing up, but when we brought in a puppy, other dogs just seem to get along with puppies better. It seems to be kind of breaks down that reactivity and maybe aggressive behavior. But be careful about that, because it could be, you don't want to put your puppy in a bad situation, or your other dog. It's not fair to them too.
Yeah, Nick and I actually grew up in 2 different situations, because we always had one dog and you always had multiple dogs.
Yes.
But now my mom has 2.
I think we pretty much always had at least 2, maybe 3 at a time.
Or 4 or 5.
Well, that got towards the end. My mom got carried away. They moved to a farm, and when you have a farm, you can have more dogs.
Yeah, she always has a lot of dogs, a lot of cats. But it's always a fun time.
And they all get along surprisingly well.
I know something else that adds up with more than one dog.
What's that?
The hair.
Yes.
The
Oh
dog
my gosh.
hair and the dirt in your house. You have to vacuum.
If you are a dog person, it's something that you're willing to sacrifice and live with. If you're not, well, then maybe you get the non-shedding dogs. But, we keep lots of lint rollers around, and that's just part of life. There really is no sitting on our couch and not getting some dog hair on you. That's part of life.
Even if you vacuum, there's always residue.
Yeah, and having a Roomba help you out during the week so you're not having to vacuum every single day is a hack. That's nice.
Oh, I was thinking about something outside. The dog poop.
The dog poop isn't really that bad.
Because we have a big yard and we really don't pick it up. Like, it just disintegrates over time.
It fertilizes our grass.
Yes, it fertilizes the grass.
So I think I might start changing that and picking it up and throwing it.
He said that for years.
No. Well, now that we have a kid coming, and I don't want the kid out there.
We want to be able to play outside.
But actually, our other yard was much worse with the dog poop because of like maybe the smaller area that they pooped in. Mm-hmm. But like this yard, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of poop out there, which is kind of interesting.
What if they don't poop anymore?
That would be horrible. They'd be so constipated.
I do think if you have to walk your dog and pick up the poop, that'd probably be more annoying with 2 dogs. But you could get like a poopy loop and like a bag holder and do all that, and it'd be fine.
We also have like a leash splitter, and like we've always walked them together, like doing that. So we don't even really know the experience of just walking one dog for the most part.
Yeah, you need a leash splitter and then a leash that goes around your waist, and your life will forever be changed. People always say, oh my gosh, my dog would drag me and pull me over with a waist leash. Like, no, you have to try it, because I don't think you understand how it works. It is so life-changing. It's so nice. Yeah,
unless you're like 40 pounds, I don't think they're going to be able to pull you like crazy. Now, if your dogs are huge and like you're not expecting it, you want to be careful. Yeah. Or if your dog like runs like crazy after stuff, then maybe try to help get them a little trained before that. But just pulling, normally neither of us has ever had a problem.
And a harness also makes a big difference. Like, we never walk our dogs like on a basic collar. We usually put them on something that's like, more structured.
Yeah.
And another expense that adds up if you are traveling is boarding or daycare, or however you're going to have your dogs be watched.
Yeah, that it does. I feel like it's or if you travel with your dog, like traveling with 2 dogs in the car, that's double the space. I mean, it's more to travel with 2, that's for sure, and 2 big dogs particularly.
Okay, I thought I was going to convince everyone to get 2 dogs, but I think I'm doing the opposite.
The day-to-day stuff at home for 2, at least in my opinion, is far exceeds the negatives.
Yeah. And like, it's so fun to snuggle up with 2 and then have 2 dogs that love you, and like, I don't know, it's just so fun.
Well, and with Holly and Gracie, we have 2 different personality dogs. I think that like Holly keeps Gracie more in shape and all of that stuff. A lot of times I feel like Goldens could end up getting to be lazy as they get older, and Holly's like super active, and that's kept Gracie like very healthy and active.
Mm-hmm. Even though she's turning white now.
That's just part of, she's getting wise, Dani.
Yeah.
It's
she's
wisdom.
Only 6.
I know, that happens.
So sad.
I'm getting gray and I'm 30.
I saw my first gray hair, and what did you say? You were like, we have to keep it because it adds
wisdom.
No, is wisdom what you said?
I thought so.
Oh, it adds wisdom. I thought you said something about like my hair looking good with it.
Oh, a texture.
It adds texture.
Yeah. Did you pluck it?
No,
Good.
It's still there.
Yeah, I can see the texture.
Can you pluck it
No way.
after this?
No way.
That's embarrassing.
I literally can't see it.
gonna dye it.
I was kidding.
I'm gonna dye in one strand.
Absolutely not.
I briefly mentioned that I always had one dog growing up, but now my mom has two, and I am the culprit.
Yes, that so often happens, I feel like, to parents. Is their kid in around college time or high school gets a dog, wants to get a dog, but then that dog becomes the family dog, and when the kid moves away, that dog doesn't go with the kid.
Yep. At that time, okay, I got the dog in college. Then at that time, I was living at home, so my dog became best friends with the family dog. And then when I was ready to move, I'm like, I can't separate them because now they're sisters.
But see, how could you separate them? Hence, they love each other. They develop
do.
an attachment to each other, and it definitely enhances their life.
My mom loves to tell everyone, this is Danny's dog. She abandoned it, and now I'm taking care of it. And I'm like, Mom, you love that dog, and the dogs love each other, and like, that is your dog.
No, it's definitely her dog.
Yeah.
But she loves you. Nala loves you.
Yeah, she does. She always remembers me when I come home.
I had that same situation, a dog in college, Abby. And then she went to the farm, and my mom was like, Nick, you can't bring her to your house. She loves the farm. She loves there's like a lake and everything.
She really is a farm dog.
Yeah, she's a farm dog. And I was like, Mom, you're right. I can't take Abby away from, like, she loves it.
I think Holly would be a good farm dog.
Yeah, Holly would love the farm.
But Holly also is like the most lazy border collie. She loves sitting on the couch.
She does enjoy her snugs. I think Danielle has turned her into that. But if she's in the scenario where there's stuff to do, she wants to be doing stuff.
Yeah. If you don't have a backyard that's fenced, or if you like live in an apartment or something, then having any dogs, but at least probably just one is enough. Like having to juggle more than one in those situations would probably be a lot.
Yeah, I think, if you have more limited space, obviously it becomes harder to have two. And like, just dealing with two, if you're single, dealing with two dogs it's nice to have both of us to be able to help handle them. Like sometimes if, we got a lot going on, I'll take Holly, Danny can take Gracie and deal with that.
And we don't let our dogs sleep in the bed because two big dogs in the bed would be a lot. But Gracie is now in her mischievous phase of life.
In her ninja mode. She starts out in her dog bed at the base of our bed. And sometime during the night, no one knows because she's so sneaky, she gets into the bed and we wake up and she's there.
So you might be wondering, because we've always talked about how passionate we are about crate training. Our dogs slept in their crate for their whole entire life. And then when we moved to this house a few months ago, they started acting like they really didn't like going in there, specifically at night. And so I was like, okay. And I was also worried, knowing that a baby was coming, about having so much noise in the night and having them locked away. Like they would just want to know what's going on.
Yeah, if we were getting up in the night with the baby and the dogs were in the crate, I think they would probably start
they
whining.
Would make noise, yeah.
Yeah, because they'd want to come see what's going on.
So I was like, they don't seem comfortable. We know the future probably is going to change anyways. So let's try to train them to sleep on their own dog beds. And so that had worked really well. But now Gracie kind of sneaks in our big bed with us. But it is what it is.
We also don't crate Gracie anymore when we just crate Holly when we leave the house.
But Holly loves to go in there. I think it's her safe space. And
she feels like she's off duty.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely certain dog breeds, but this works for a lot of dogs too. You hear it. Like they can go in there and they can really get rest.
Yeah, like if she is sitting out in the living room, she's always going to be guarding the front door if we weren't home or something, where now she can just go in her crate and actually sleep.
And Gracie's not like that. Gracie be in the bed or somewhere, just she's clonked. She's out.
She's not a guard dog.
She doesn't have that same mentality.
I would say, like, be mindful if you're getting two dogs, like, about personalities and types of dogs, and if you think that they would mesh well. But I mean, for the most part, we know a lot of people with a lot of random combinations, and it always works out because they're your dogs and you're going to figure it out.
I think that like it probably is more helpful to have like the same size breed of dog.
Yeah, but I was thinking that, but I know someone with a German Shepherd and a Yorkie.
No, I'm not saying it can't work, but like I feel like it's harder for a German Shepherd and Yorkie to like play tug than it would be for like Holly and Gracie to play tug or two German Shepherds to play tug. Yeah. But not that they can't play. They can still run around and chase each other.
Yeah.
One benefit that has been, honestly, this may not be the case if we would have gotten them at different ages, but definitely from puppy age, they learned from each other.
Oh, yeah.
Gracie learned to be potty trained. Even just having Holly for 3 weeks earlier than Gracie picked up the potty training faster. She picked up a lot of things faster because Holly was doing that.
Now I'm hopeful that our children will be the same way. Like the second one's going to be much easier.
You hear that. You hear that that's a thing.
Yeah.
That when you can see it, it's easier to pick up.
And same thing with commands. Like Gracie just knew sit, stay, all those things because she watched Holly do it first. And then she would just mimic her behavior.
Yeah, it is interesting how they can pick that stuff up.
I feel like the most life-altering things are changed by having one dog and not two. Like your ability to like leave whenever you want and travel and like do all those things. Like if you have one dog, that's already like limiting you from those things. So having a second dog doesn't really change that as much as like the expense part. But you know, you either have no dogs or multiple dogs. And those things are...
You kind of hear that same thing with kids, too. I feel like a lot of this actually is kind of applicable to kids in some ways. Like, you do hear, it's like, you know what? Once we had that first kid, it's like, what was one or two more?
Yeah.
They're like, you know, we already were parents and having to take care of a kid, making lunch for 2 kids or 3 kids or, you know, doing what you got to do is not that much different. Obviously, though, kids take up a lot more time than dogs, so there's major differences.
Well, maybe we swayed you to get another dog or maybe we swayed you not to. But either way, I hope this was helpful in learning about life with 2 dogs. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to thumbs up or give us a 5-star review and we'll see you next time.
Bye.